And welcome back, everybody. We are live. We are back with Sparkling Tuna Cup number 4. I'm your host, of course, Live VIP, and with me once again is the lovely, the beautiful, the magnanimous. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Chase.
Keep going. You're doing good there.
Hello,
Live. My name is Chase. Man, that's best I've felt all week. But yes, here we go. Thank you for having me, Light.
It's always a pleasure, man. It's always a pleasure to have you on, Chase, to join me for our weekly edition of this tournament. Of course, we are here one day early. Usually we have our tournaments on Wednesdays, but today it is on Tuesday because of IEM. We're going to, give them the space they need. It's the first big offline event that we're having this year in a long time. Mate, I'm excited.
Yeah, that's right. It was tricky because the Sparkling Tuna Cup is a bigger tournament than the IEM finals, but sometimes you gotta throw a dog a bone.
Sure.
The smaller cause get some exposure for those players too. So here we go. Spawning in the bottom right position, game number 1. This is exciting. It is the Blue Zerg from Australia playing for Team Cranky. It is Oreo.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Berlingrad LE, we have, for the very first time here in Sparkling Tuna Cup, the South Korean Protoss player representing his brand new team, Exeritus Ignat. It is ReBellioN.
Indeed. I don't think I'm familiar with ReBellioN. Like, is he an up-and-coming player, or is it a new idea? Or?
He reminds me. I like to call him the South Korean Chase.
I know this guy, man. He's the best.
He's been up and coming for the past 10 years.
Oh man, that is me, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh god. Jokes aside, I think he started competing like around 2015, 2016. He used to be a regular player in Olimo League week after week after week. You probably know him better as Gyolzing. He's been known as...
Oh, yes, that rings a bell.
Yeah.
I see, okay. Gone through the name change. It's like every pro gamer, they have, instead of a midlife crisis, they have a mid-career name change.
Yeah.
So Innovation went to Bogus, or Bogus to Bjorn. Like,
what are you saying? What are you saying?
What was Bjorn's? He was called Excrement, wasn't he?
He was Ghost King. He was Ghost King.
Ghost King. Ah, I see. Yes.
Yeah.
And Oreo, he's new a fresh player, hasn't name changed yet. We'll see what happens.
Fun fact: Oreo's Reddit account name is called Juiced Potato.
It is too. I have noticed that, the juiced potato.
Yeah. Shaking my head. I was like, mate, what's going on? He's like, look, I made the Reddit account a long time ago. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I love the juiced potatoes. Anyway, carrying on in this game, actually, we did see ReBellioN, he did go for a bit of a hatchery block, or Oreo did choose to take that third. He only made 4 Zerglings. Sometimes you'll see players, they'll make an extra pair of lings just to help out against that adept, but Oreo very, very kind of refined and plays comfortable with just the 2 lings per base. So pretty clean opener by the Zerg player, no drones lost, and on the other side of the map, ReBellion's gone for a fast Twilight Council with that Stalker to deny Scouting Light, so
yeah,
already things looking off meta.
Exactly, like ReBellioN, he's about to pop off, mate. It makes sense. We're here. Oh my god, he's popping off in multiple different ways. I was like, are we just gonna see a 2-base charge all in? We kind of are, but at the same time, we see a Dark Shrine being thrown down.
Yeah, that's right. And actually, Oreo's got some really good vision, or a good ring around the base to see, what pops out. But he can't see that Dark Shrine. And it's a very good, the Stalker's in position to deny Overlord scouting. He knows that Overlord's on the pillar. He's also got that pylon to see if another Overlord comes into the main. But I think that Oreo, he could get caught off guard here. And already we see him making roaches going for what looks like it could be a maybe just a adept or a charge shot timing defense.
Yeah, exactly. Thankfully, he's playing the safe. We see spores being thrown down in every single base, just in case it is DTs. So again, he is covering his bases. He will spot this move out. But again, he was playing this very, very blind. We'll see how quick he can react once, Gyozing or ReBellioN reveals his hand.
Yeah, that's right. Oreo, he is a very experienced Zerg player. He does know to throw down those 430 spores in case of Dark Temple. These Zealots warping in now, and it's quite a few Zealots this early on, but Oreo's been making roaches for a little bit right now, and look, he's going to actually just maybe sack his natural here.
Yeah.
I mean, third base.
I respect this, right? He just completely gives up that third base. He walls off completely here at the natural, making sure that if he did fight, he would have a wall, he would have a choke point. Meanwhile, in come those DTs, and at the moment, there is no mobile detection.
Yeah, and if he's not careful with his detail, gonna get a roach. Oreo knows now he's gonna scramble back to the spore, start his lair, but it looks like this isn't the worst. This is actually quite good for ReBellioN. He's got a third base downline, and he can just go home here, and he feels pretty comfortable.
Oh yeah. He's doing what Protoss do best. Like, mate, you think I'm all in? Nah, I'll just take base. Just turn down a Nexus, mate. I'm good. I just wasted minerals here. Not much gas. It's fine.
Yeah, that's right. And Oreo breaking himself out of that little enclosure. Now he has realized, stuck on 2 bases, got the lair. He drops for 3 extra gases. He's going to need to do some sort of tech advantage here. I'd like to maybe see a Spire if to deal with this drop here. Oh, the Warp Prism coming with the Archons. Got to just walk away, and this Archon drop kind of out of the meta, but still pretty effective.
Oh my god, yeah, he's gonna get an Overlord for free, maybe a little bit more. He does deny the third base, focus down that drone, and just like that, Oreo is still stuck on 2 bases. And I agree, like, going for a Spire would be really cute, going for something to shut down all this aggression, but alas, it looks like he is still committing to roaches.
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of the it's the culmination of like the choices this game. Sacking his third base, or was his natural, but it's kind of limited his lava intake, and he has to be really careful with how he executes. Like I said, Roach is not a bad choice, much better than Lings. It's very lava dense. But as we see, there's already Immortals coming out for ReBellioN here, and Oreo might be able to make a timing work or so. But there's so many charge lots from that early attack. I'm not sure how I'll be able to open up the Protoss player here. Like,
yeah, exactly. And on top of all of that, like, these two Archons are still harassing across the map. They're still keeping Oreo busy. They're still dealing whatever damage they can. This time, at least Oreo has gone in for the scout, and he confirms, okay, the third base is getting saturated. We do have some Immortal production already, and now he's got a choice to make, right? Like, he still doesn't have his third. At this point, it's either you double expand and try and drone up, or just try to hit a timing, right, with your roaches and with +1.
yeah, that is right. And meanwhile, we see ReBellioN. He's feeling very comfortable. He's taking the gases at his third base. He feels pretty comfy, going into a later game against such a roach-based composition. It's a pretty good idea, honestly, because roaches just they're good earlier on in the game, but they kind of trade off. And as I say that, ReBellion's actually moving out here, maybe to pressure, maybe to commit to an attack here, but we'll have to see what comes of this light.
I think this is a bit of a mistake, right? Like, Oreo, he has not really been droning up too much. I say that as he makes 2 more drones, but like, his army supply is looking pretty good, and there aren't that many sentries here. There's not gonna be that many force fields available for ReBellioN.
Yeah, that's right. And it could just be an attack just to keep the Zerg honest, maybe even force out some units, because we see that he's actually quite high up. He's up 15 probes at the moment to the 45 drones of Oreo. And I think Oreo, he's got his game plan settled. He wants to go into a great push here, but we see a Robo Bay coming down, and I'm thinking maybe Disruptors could be a follow-up if Oreo takes too long.
Exactly, that's what I'm worried about. Like, Oreo is kind of taking too long. He's still stuck here on his side of the map. +1 finished a while ago. I would have thought that he would have pushed out by now, but the War Prism is keeping him busy, distracting his army. At the same time, in comes ReBellioN. But again, he's just poking and prodding. He doesn't have to commit. He's got Disruptors on the way.
Yeah, not only that, if he does actually accidentally commit, he's got that recall, he's got those force fields just in case. And with this going on, ReBellioN is able to scout the lack of drones at the natural, so he should know just to, maybe pop down some shield batteries. There's going to be attack coming in, and he's actually in a really commanding position in this first game.
Yeah, exactly, especially because he survived long enough where now he's got a Disruptor on the way. He's going to have double Disruptor production with that second Robo as well. The only thing that I'm worried about is that he is lacking that stack defense. He's actually looking to take a 4th base, so maybe being a little bit greedy, maybe Oreo can still catch him off guard. Maybe.
Yeah, so one of those there's a chance here that Ori turns his weak. 45 drones, very low drone count.
Yeah.
But that means it can be a greater army count as we look. He's actually maxed out here. So if Oreo, he's got more resources to work with, it'll still be very tricky. You'll have to play very well. But it's a chance, right? It's something. It's something. You gotta hype the boys
I'm
up.
just like, what is Oreo waiting for? You know, like your army's not gonna get any bigger. And we saw he was, I guess, waiting for these overseers. You know, now he has mobile detection. Not the fastest overseers, but now they're on the way. Here we go, Oreo. He's pulling the trigger, and again, not too much stack defense, but we do have almost 4 disruptors.
Yeah, that's right. And Oreo's trying to take a 4th base here, denied by the Zealot. He's fully all in here, and this position, oh my man, those disruptors are so scary. He's got the force fields and the immortals as well. Even the warp prism forcing Queen's back, not the worst, but not ideal. And Oreo's gonna push in here, and the first disruptor.
Oh god, the first shot goes off. Was able to take down that disruptor, but a little bit too late. In comes the second disruptor shot. Another amazing shot. And mate, we've got 2 more Novas left. That's too many if you ask my Zerg brain. And here we go. Or he's in a decent position. The army's a little bit awkward here, but the disruptors, they can kind of force the fight if he really needs to. And Orio's just making roaches behind this, but I don't think it's really working right. Yeah, exactly. Like, the disruptors are all that ReBellioN needed. We saw how dominant he took that fight. GG gets called, and ReBellioN takes the first game.
Damn, what a game. Crazy game. Do you think? I would assume Oreo. He's smart. He knows a lot about pro players. He'll be able to like recollect a replay from like anywhere. Do you think he's heard of ReBellioN before? Maybe he's mettering a little bit with his cancel there, or he's just, oh, this player's going for 2 base charge. I need to stay alive at all costs.
That's a good question. I know they do hit each other on ladder relatively frequently. Like, I know Oreo is familiar with ReBellioN. We've actually spoken about him before. But like, is he familiar enough with him to like be aware of like potentially 2 base all-ins on this map? I don't know. I'm not too sure about that, but yeah, that was a bit of an unfortunate game there. I do think that there was maybe a timing that he could have hit before the disruptors came out. I do think that.
Yeah, I also think he could have even had resources to defend that initial Zealot push, but the warp in the main could probably have made it a bit awkward, especially not having the lair, getting that spore snipes equals pretty much GG. So he did the conservative approach, but yeah, rough game 1 for the Australian Cranky Zerg. So hopefully, stronger showing in game 2.
Hopefully, mate. Hopefully, as we're diving into game number 2. Something that I wanted to say is the Koreans have arrived. Exclamation mark be in the chat if you want to have a look at that bracket, because, mate, it's not just our regulars like Bjorn and Nightmare and Chance. Some of them aren't here, but we also have a couple of other Koreans that have shown up to see how they can perform here against the foreigners.
Yeah, that's right. And here we go. Going into game number 2 here. One of the foreigners standing against the Korean wave, who's coming to dominate Sparkling Tuna so far. Down 1-0 at the moment. Can he bring it back? It is Cranky's Oreo.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Curious Minds LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing Exeritus Ignat. It is ReBellioN.
I was kind of glad I didn't have to introduce ReBellioN, because I forgot what the team's called. Exeritus is something. Thank you. Threw me a bone there. Like,
what is it? What is it again? What's the team name?
Exeritus. It's Cranky. Cranky. That's okay. I'll get there. I'm fresh. I'm up and coming for the past 10 years. I just need a little bit longer to work things out.
You'll get there, man. You'll get. I believe, mate. I believe.
Thank you. At least someone does.
And you know who else believes? Massive shout out to Garboham in the chat for the 21-month tier 2 sub. Thank you so much. That's a lot of subs. And Chase.
21 months.
Mate,
that's a lot of. It's like 2.5 kids.
What?
I just, how you like talk to a pregnant person, like, oh, I'm like 4 weeks or something. I do it in like Twitch subs.
2.5 kids?
2.5. Yeah, well, it's 9 months until they're born, right?
Yeah.
That's 18. That's 2 kids.
Yeah.
And then I guess it's 2 and 1/3. I'll just shut up
I've never heard people use the measurement of kids before. Like, oh my
Oh,
god.
that's okay. This
How
it's
like
new. Like
you,
you have to get with the times, man.
you like send the car into the shop and you're like, mate, how long is this gonna take? Oh, about half a kid. What?
You went through something. Oh man. So yes, you can sell a child if you have a child. You can sell it for 9 months of a
What?
Twitch subscription. If you're unaware, please don't actually do that.
What do you say?
don't sell kids for Twitch subs. Meanwhile,
Uh,
our Tastosis-esque rambling is over. We have a Stargate on the way.
yes, we do. Bold move here by ReBellioN as he's opening up Stargate on one of the maps that isn't too great for this kind of play. I say that specifically, I'm talking about like double Stargate play, so I'd be surprised if he throws down a second one after this first Void Ray.
Yeah, and we see Oreo. He's going to be scouting this Stargate, right? This could probably influence his expanding pattern. Expect him to take maybe the 6 o'clock base to close off that the voids being able to dip between the third and the triangle third and the main. Expecting to push creep maybe to the south. We see a triangle base going down for ReBellioN. So I think Oracle coming up after the Void Ray here. Do you think this could catch Oreo off guard? Or...
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, it depends where it goes because Oreo, he is the kind of player that likes to skip spores at his natural base. He tries to be as efficient as possible with his queen positioning. So we'll see if the Oracle gets in because there is already one spore being thrown down.
That's right. Spore at the third base. Void's gonna poke in, say what's up. Oreo has already diligently pulled his overlords back to safety. ReBellioN gonna poke in, gonna say what's up. The queens are gonna say go away. Not before sniping one drone. And meanwhile, we see a Twilight Council going down for ReBellioN, so maybe a transition out of Skytoss this game.
Yeah, this is kind of what we expect on Curious Minds. Like, it's really difficult to pull off double Stargate play on this map. So going into something like a Twilight Council, it makes a lot of sense. It's a very smart move here by ReBellioN. It's going to be on Oreo to scout this and figure out what is going on, though.
Yeah, that's right, Oreo, Oracle coming in, sniping a drone. Oreo, he hasn't taken much drone damage so far, just, a drone to Adept, one to Avoid to Oracle, so pretty solid, clean defense so far, but he wants to probably go into his mid-game plan here and scout the transition, because as we see that, he was forced to pull his Overlord back from that Void Ray, so he's a bit in the dark at the moment. But we just see Roach Link kind of being made here, and a lair, so...
Yeah, and I'm sure once that layer is done, we're going to be seeing maybe an Overseer so we can see a bit more of a scout. Actually, a lot of Lings in production from Oreo. My god, he's going to be looking to... Yeah, he's just walking his queens across the map.
Yeah, that's right, and there's an Immortal on the way, but honestly, there's not that many Roaches, a lot of Lings, and the Queens as well. There's a really good creep highway here from our Australian Zerg, and he might be able to push into this third base here of ReBellioN and probably cancel it. We go, Shield Batteries in the main. ReBellioN looks like he might just sack it here.
Yeah, exactly. He's pulling an Oreo from game number 1. He's just giving up the main base. He's gonna wall off at the natural. But at the same time, it looks like a couple of Adepts have snuck into the main.
Yeah, that's right. A couple of Adepts coming in. They will snipe some drones. Lings, we got to take out here, but I like to see Oreo that he's droning already. He's got the third base, just because it's so hard to push, on the natural ramp on this map. Even with those Ravagers, just the shield batteries and the force fields. So he's going to poke again, maybe? No, he sees what's going on. And this is actually a pretty good start for game number 2 for Oreo.
Yeah, again, as you were saying, it's like the roles have been reversed. Oreo, he kills a third, he backs off, he drones up. Like, he's gonna take the wins where he can get them. But what I will say is that ReBellioN, like he has been able to successfully tech up, right? We already have that Robotics Bay on the way. He's going to have access to those disruptors once again.
Yeah, that's right. Something you'll notice with these higher level players is the moment that they're first forced to diverge from their plan, they've already got a second plan in their heads. So the moment that he recognizes that the third base is going to go down, he goes into his 2 base tech, he drops the Robo Bay, and we have a disruptor on the way already. And To be honest, I'm not too sure about disruptors. There's such a Ling-heavy unit comp here, but maybe he knows from experience that Oreo likes his roaches, and they definitely worked in game number 1. So curious to see how this unfolds.
Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, disruptors are great, but they can also be horrible. Like, it's a bit of a coin flippy unit at times, right? You either have the most amazing shot, or it whiffs completely. So it's gonna be all about that control once the fight does happen.
Yeah, that's right. These Lings coming in again, going to deny the service. He's going to commit with the force fields, but no cancel. Like, that is a great pick-off for Oreo with these circles.
Exactly. Beautifully done there by Oreo behind this. Baleen Nest is on the way. He's fully saturated on 3 bases. He could get a 4th behind this as well. What's important is that he does need to keep an eye on this to see if ReBellioN is kind of forced to pull the trigger and just go for a 2-base all-in. But Oreo, he checks again and confirms that, okay, he's still trying to get this 3rd base up and running.
Yeah, and you see, he sees the army staying at home. He sees, a shield battery and a cannon going down, showing he wants to solidify his kind of hold on this position, the 3rd base. And Ori throws down another hatchery, throws down some drones and a Baneling Nest himself. So he must be feeling in a very comfortable position here. The one thing I'd like to see is maybe push that creep to a more southern direction. And actually, ReBellioN, he's not able to move out because these Lings just keep coming in to deny him.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as ReBellioN moves out, in moves Oreo. So ReBellion's been having a really hard time pushing out and really leveraging his army. I 100% agree, by the way, with what you were saying about the crease thread. It's not looking so ideal. Oreo recognizes this, but it's a little bit too late. The army is already ready and waiting for the queens.
That's right. It's not. These queens, they're gonna get taken out. The Ravagers just say, lol, jokes, we don't actually have biles. No, there they are. The one thing you do have, these Lings coming from behind. This is actually a really good position here for Oreo.
Oh god, but the Nova does zone away the Ravagers, and that means all these Lings getting taken out before the Ravagers come in to bile them.
That's right, really well dealt there by ReBellioN. His sentries are out of energy though, so yeah, the recall is going to actually catch a few units and going to force him home. And there's not many shield batters at this 3rd base. I think we could see a counterattack maybe light. A lot of Lings on the way. No infestation beats going to the late game.
Yeah. I don't blame Ori for not pushing out then and there, just because the Ling reinforcements weren't necessarily with the army. And we saw that, hey, this base was killed earlier. The 3rd is so delayed that Oreo doesn't necessarily have to go now.
Yeah, that's right. Meanwhile, ReBellioN going to push in from this angle again. He's got a little bit of sentry energy, but that is a lot of Banelings, and Baneling's speed's just about to finish. This could be... this could be wild.
Yeah, it could be wild. He's got 2 more Novas left. I should say 1 Nova left. He does connect with the Queens, and both Queens are going to get picked off. He still has 1 more Disruptor ready and waiting, but Oreo is also waiting for his main speed, and he finishes! He's going for it!
ReBellion's coming in and connecting the sentries. Only have 2 force fields to throw, but Disruptor shot going off, not connecting. But these Banelings just going to roll in, and whenever these Stalkers shoot, they're just going to trigger these Banelings. And there we go. Oreo pulls the trigger, and he's being forced all the way back home. Oh
my god, the splits were insane, but maybe I speak too soon. 1 Nova does connect, but it was only 1 out of 5 Disruptors. And in the end, the Banelings find the connections that they want, but Oreo doesn't go for it. He pulls back as soon as his Ling Bane has been cleared up.
Yeah, very intelligent play actually. He recognizes he's got the hive on, hive on the way because the infestation pit. He doesn't need to commit here because the army for ReBellioN, it doesn't scale just like roaches in the first game. The roles reversed. Stalkers don't scale the best into the later game, and we see that once he's in this tech path, he's a bit kind of stuck. It's a bit like a PvP unit composition, isn't it? Disruptor Stalker, Blink Stalker. So we'll have to see how this unfolds.
Yeah, exactly. And the other big thing is that ReBellioN, he lost a lot of his disruptors earlier on, in that big engagement. That was kind of the power behind his army. Now he has to start working on something else, whether it's throwing down more Stargates and transitioning into Sky Toss. Being stuck here on this kind of really weird Blink Stalker disruptor composition, I don't know. I'm yet to be convinced.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I see the kind of the power from Oreo's earlier move, choosing to not commit with the Disruptors, not trade them out for the Gateway units, sorry, not commit with the Ravagers. It allows him extra gas. He doesn't have to remake those Ravagers, and he can just go straight into that Ultra Den, which I assume he's going to be going for here. And actually, yeah, he does scout the 4th base, and I assume he's going to maybe take the gases at his own 4th, and yeah, segue into a good late game.
Exactly. I mean, the hive is done. I feel like the big thing that he's missing right now is probably Vipers, but Oreo is maxed out. He can't really make anything yet. Meanwhile, one of the Novas does connect another one. Oh my god, connects with so many Banelings.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not the most sure about this attack here, but it looks like he's getting a lot of damage on these disruptor shops aren't the greatest, and it looks like this is mostly a stalker army here, like shield battery going off the main, but actually not the worst for Oreo, considering you can trade off and go into late game tech units.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing to point out is that Oreo, his trades have been good. Have they been good enough though? ReBellioN now he's going for the counter attack. He did keep a lot of his disruptors alive from earlier. He's ready to go. Again, the creep thread just hasn't been respread here for Oreo.
Yeah, and actually we don't see any an Ultra Den or a Greater Spy on the way really. We just see Vipers to pull the disruptors. I'm not too sure about this. Given the current game state, it's a good idea because Viper's counter disruptors so hard, but he has to hold into this push, and that going to help all that much here.
Yeah, exactly. He needs to buy time, not just for the disruptors to be made, but also for them to gather that energy. There we go. The Vipers, they're out. They're slowly killing that natural base, but they need to. They need to gather that energy ASAP.
Yeah, that's right. And the big thing about this is ReBellion's got that fourth base behind this attack, so again, he doesn't need to force a poor engagement. He just needs to kind of maybe snipe this base. That'll be great, and it looks like he's gonna get it.
Oh my god, meanwhile, here we go. A couple of yoinks do go down on 2 of these disruptors, but is there enough behind this army? More yoinks, every single disruptor goes down.
That's right, it's only Blinkstalkers here. Blinkstalkers do not trade very good against our Cracklings, It's kind of one thing we do have to point out, as I'm looking at Oreo's army, he's got no upgrades.
As soon as you said Cracklings, I was like, oh really? I looked over, he's got 0, mate. Oh my god.
It's alright, I'll be Cracklings soon. But actually this changes the whole dynamic. Again, ReBellioN, he's only got, the +1 attack, so it's not the biggest kind of issue here, but Oreo hasn't even got his Evos down. He's gonna go on straight to that hive tech, and it looks like he just wants to brute force it and keep this game in check with his overwhelming economy. But again, fourth base down and secured for ReBellioN.
Exactly, and it's one of those things where you were talking about how +1 isn't the biggest deal and +2 isn't the biggest deal, but when your opponent has 0 upgrades, like, this is going to be huge. Like, once it finishes up, like, ReBellion's army is going to be trading so well, and thankfully he's not fully stuck on Blinkstalkers. Now he's got Charge-Outs on the way. I would have loved to have seen the Templar Archives for some High Templar, some Storms, some feedbacks as well on the Vipers.
Yes,
yeah.
Oh, he gets a parasitic bomb on the Warp Prism. Does it kill it?
He gets it! Let's go, Argon!
You don't see that every day, do you? Might even get the second Disruptor here. And this is a very unorthodox game, isn't it? Like, you got slow Zealot run by, you got Mass Stalker versus 0-0 Zerg.
Yeah, unfortunately, Oreo, he's maxed out, so he doesn't have any reinforcements on the way. Meanwhile, here come the Blinding Clouds on the Mass Blink Stalker, and it looks like Oreo may be able to break him, but another Disruptor comes out! Oh.
That's right. And then we got that Crackling upgrade finishing right when all those Lings going down, and Oreo's going to call GG as his Ravagers get confronted, and yeah, damn. That's great. Interesting game. 500 APM.
Yeah, GG, well played. I commend Oreo for what he was able to accomplish that game, denying the third base time and time again, getting ahead, but his work account wasn't looking that great. His economy wasn't that great either, and because of that, we did see that he had to kind of like cut corners, cut corners when it comes to upgrades, cut corners when it comes to tech as well. You were talking about potential Greater Spire or Ultra Cavern. Didn't see any of that.
Yeah, that's right. We saw, we saw the structure of Oreo's plan. It was, a lot of Zerglings. Once he cancelled the third base, he knew what to do. Lots of Zerglings make Ravagers at home in case of a counterattack to feel safe. But it was a very, as you said, low economy, kind of a mid-base unit composition. It seemed like he just wanted to kind of, push in with overwhelming numbers again. But he didn't manage to snipe the fourth base with that attack, and ReBellioN managed to solidify and just. Not often you see Blinkstalkers triumph over Zerg these days, so well played to ReBellioN.
Yeah. GG, well played. I also want to give a bit of a, I want to give a bit of a lesson three to Oreo because, fun fact, he actually didn't sign up until 5 minutes before the tournament, because He's actually a little bit sick at the moment. He's not feeling very well. He was like, I was like, mate, you signing up? He's like, mate, like I just walked 30 minutes in the rain and it did not do me well. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, boy, sign up.
He's like, you know what? I'll sign up anyway. I'm like, okay, let's go. And yeah. So not Oreo at 100%, but we wish him the best. And even if it isn't an Oreo at 100%, like these were still some pretty entertaining games.
Yeah. And it's experience, right? Like, I think tournament games, we touched on they play on ladder, but tournament games is where you want to play your best. So, like, given that experience versus ReBellioN, who's obviously trying to play very well, it's going to be helpful going forward in future series that he plays. Because that was a very unique style, so especially in Game 2. Sure. Not something you'd see very, very often. So I think it's very valuable. Knowing Oreo, very meticulous, very analytical, he'll take that on board, and I'm sure he'll bounce back stronger.
I'm sure he will as well. So best of luck to Oreo in the coming weeks. And again, very entertaining series nonetheless. Oh, but congratulations to ReBellioN for taking down the Australian Zerg and for moving on in the bracket where he already has another opponent ready and waiting.